shown it?
Okay, thank you. We have been doing tests for quite a number of years now, paternity tests and other DNA tests. But on this recent report that surfaced, it was one of our clients, names withheld, who came, did a test, and unfortunately the result came out 0%. That means he was excluded as the true biological father of the child. When we conversed with him after giving him his result, as we normally do, he narrated how badly he had been treated by the mother with regards to the paternity of the child. So he was so emotionally disturbed because of what he went through, because of that false paternity claim towards him. So that's what, and then he took out to social media to talk about these false paternity claims. And here we are today.
Right. Now, I believe since 2022 until right now, there are 2,000 tests that have been done and 30% only confirming or came as positive. But let's discuss the numbers. It seems people are interpreting these results as representative of the broader society. Is it correct to do so?
It's not correct.
All right.
The 70% that we're talking about, it's a batch of the tests that have been done. So we cannot superimpose that percentage to the whole population. But in a way, there's a relationship between the high number of those 0% of those exclusions with regards to the population also. It might show that maybe we do have a higher percentage of paternity fraud in our society. Because the number came out of the 2,240 something tests.
Yeah.
We did a calculation. We're checking the zeros that we got. The other tests have actually gone through the legal system, was the court-ordered paternity tests, and then the other ones are done through consent also. So we are getting more zeros than the 99.99%. Yes.
All right. Now, I want to understand this. If a couple sees the need to do a DNA test, does it not mean that there is inherently a potential problem?
Definitely. Unless if it's for other reasons, like DNA profiling, or maybe just a proof. Maybe you want to send your child overseas for school, they might need for a DNA report. But the moment someone comes in, or a couple comes in, inquiring or asking to do a paternity test, it means somehow there's some doubt that is emanated. There is some misunderstanding that is there towards the paternity of that particular child. And it's happening even in married couples, or partners, each and every person who is part of the society. Some, they would want just to know the true identity or the true paternity of the particular child, because there are a lot of issues that will be going around, be it from our society, be it from our families, be it from the grapevine. Some of the information comes from the grapevine. Yes.
All right. Now, I understand that earlier on you mentioned that there's a lot that you are dealing with the emotional impact of it. We'll get into that.
Yes.
Now, as you are taking all this DNA testing, I understand that mostly men come and approach you to do this test, or they come as couples?
Okay. We do have different types of tests. If it's a court-ordered paternity test, it is a requirement that all the partners, together with the child, they come and do the test. And then the other one is if your name appears as the father on the birth certificate of the child, you are allowed also to do the test without the consent of the mother, because you are a legal guardian to the child. But some also, they come as a couple, consented, they agree, let's go and do a paternity test. And fortunately or unfortunately, results do come in various ways. They might come in and then it's 99.99% or it's 0%. So it's mostly as per consent, or some of them they're actually forced by the law because maybe they won't be acceding to doing the DNA test.
Give me the reaction, paint a picture for me, for a couple that comes in, or a father who had been, doing all this, taking care of the child and everything, and then afterwards is 0%. Do you provide counseling? What are the processes afterwards?
Yes, we do provide counseling prior to the test. We have to explain to you the implications of doing such a test. When you come in, there are only two results, especially for paternity tests. It's a 0% or it's a 99.99%. Only two. One of them. So we take you through a pep talk with regards to the implications. But some of the fathers who come, they would have bonded with the child. They would have been taking care of the child because they would have been told that you are the father of the child. So because everything emanates from the mother of the child. Yes. So in any case where 0%, yeah, sometimes it's so emotional disturbing. Yeah, some men literally break down because of so many reasons. Either because they have got a bond with the child and then they know that now the truth has come out. It means this child is not mine. There's someone else out there who is the true biological father of the child that I thought is mine.
Yeah.
Yes. And some of them, maybe they might have had difficulty in having kids also. And then maybe he thinks this is the breakthrough that I had. I now have a child. And then later on, because of information that comes through, then you end up maybe thinking of doing a paternity test so that you can verify if the child is yours. Yes.
You call for mandatory testing in illegal cases. What is the case presently?
The mandatory testing, the call has been for us to stifle all these conversations that come after a very long time of raising a child that you purport to be yours. And then maybe at the other end, the child really does not belong to you. Because what is happening is some people, they can come and test maybe a child who's 15 years or 18 or 25. It's just across the spectrum in terms of the age. Yes. So mostly it's let it be done at birth so that you know what you are getting in through. If the child is yours, you know that, okay, this is my child. And you don't have any qualms about raising the child. You particularly know that this child is my blood, and there is no one who is going to come later in the life and claim to be the true biological of the father of the child. Because this is what is happening also. There are men, this issue is not only about women, there are also men who run away from their responsibilities at that particular time. But later, after 10 years or 12 years, they come back. And then they start harassing the mother and telling her that this is my child, I know it's my child, and I need my child now. But from that time of birth up until that particular moment, he was nowhere to be seen. He was an absent father. So maybe when it's mandatory testing at birth, it means all partners will know the way forward, will chart a way forward. You take what belongs to you and you take care of what belongs to you, not for another person.
Right.
It's better for you to opt to do that out of your choice, not out of a false paternity claim.
But this is what sparked a lot of controversy, especially on the socials. That is it not now that I'm having a relationship with this woman, and then at birth we have to do this? Is it because I'm not trusting that this child could be mine? There is a lot of conversation around that. What can you comment on that one?
The main thrust of this conversation is to protect the rights of the innocent child. Yes. So even if we are doing mandatory testing, the bigger picture is for the child, not for the partners. Because the sense of identity for the child, all of us, we have an identity. We so cherish our identity with particular reference to our family trees or our clans. So, of course, people might think that there is some mistrust. there is an implied infidelity, but the bigger picture is the future of the child. And that particular child is the next leader in the next 20 or 30 years in our society. So if it starts at birth, we know there are no legal hurdles, there are no issues that have got to do with misplaced paternity. Everything starts on a positive outlook, and I tell you, breed a society that is very, very responsible and good for the country.
How has the reception been on the mandatory testing, especially on the health sector and other stakeholders who might be the society maybe to call for this mandatory testing?
Yes, I believe there's an article. This is not a new thing. The mandatory testing.
Yeah.
It was actually discussed in Parliament, if I'm not mistaken. I think there is a report to that effect.
Yeah.
The Chief's Council, I remember very well, and then people had reservations about it. But with proper legislative framework, the government can opt for that, because it will take away all the negativity that is around paternity fraud. And also, the picture is women are being vilified. They are the ones at the receiving end, because we all know that the mother is the one who knows everything about the particular child. So in those cases, let's deal with it on the onset. And we know that from now, if we know the paternity status of any particular child, we don't have any qualms, any reservations about that particular child. We are starting on a clean slate. It's not about implied infidelity. It's about us starting on a solid foundation, on a solid footing, with regards to raising
this child. You said something very profound, the paternity fraud. What is that?
The issue that is happening in our society, mainly maybe because of economic reasons, there is a tendency of misplaced paternity because of a couple of reasons, and one of them being the financial capability or capacity of the presumed father. So normally what's happening in our society is the paternity is given to someone who is able to take care of the child.
Not the real father of the child.
Not the real father of the child. And that one is dependent on what that father, that implied father, is getting, or what is able to do towards the child. There are men, like I said earlier, there are men who are not responsible also, who have neglected, maybe they've neglected the woman from the time she's pregnant up until birth. Yeah, and maybe someone else is also in the picture, because whenever there is a paternity issue, it means it's more than one guy who's involved.
Someone is in the picture now.
Yeah, someone is in the, yeah, there's more than one guy involved. Because for a woman to come and put a child on you, yeah, there's a string of events, definitely.
Yeah.
And for you to accept as the man to say, yeah, maybe the child is mine, it's because you know you were in a relationship with that particular woman.
All right.
Yes.
Now we've got 5 minutes to wrap up this conversation, but I want to understand the emotional implications attached to the findings that are mostly, negative. Yeah,
we have seen in our practice that, of course, when a negative result comes out, it's disturbing, both to the mother, to the alleged father, and also we know along the way to the child also, because the child would have known a particular person is the father, and then comes the result, and then the father is not the one. So that change of parentage also affects the kids, especially the children. It's not a good thing. And also with women, because they've been lying about the parentage issue, the paternity aspect, then it has come out in the open now. And you know that this surely is not the father. People now know that the person whom we thought is the father is not. It was just a lie. It was a paternity fraud. Yeah, and then definitely all those things, the society, the family, because this issue normally it's not between two people. Yeah, it's the family setup. But some of the issues actually stem from family gatherings, funerals, weddings. That's where
all these conversations are had.
Yes. Yeah. You can actually see, maybe by the treatment, our old mothers, I'm not disrespecting them, our aunties, our uncles, they're the ones who normally
do the checking. They don't look like you. They don't even speak like you. This child is not yours.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what normally sparks this issue for someone to say, no, let me go and test. Because the pressure that comes, they'll tell you that, no, this child does not belong to us. This child is not part of us. The way he walks, his complexion, the way he speaks is not us. But the first, mostly it comes from the family setup or from the community. They might actually tell you that where that is not your father, the person that you think is your father. They can actually tell you that no, he's not. He's not your father. And from there you start to make your own, if you're old enough. Some are old enough, they start to make research findings until they get to know where they belong to. Because the issue is about identity. Everyone needs to be identified.
Yeah, I was about to say that are there any children or children who just come with this curiosity, want to do the DNA test, maybe because of the conversation that stemmed from the family or the community that they come from, to say this is not your father, and maybe the parents are not part of that, and the child is curious to know what exactly is going on here?
A couple of people have come through with those particular cases, but mostly the good part is the people who will be speaking about that, they normally give you a hint. Yeah, they will be knowing that you come from Alape, you are not from Ochudi. Yes, and from such a particular family. So mostly there is one person in the family who knows, and or a friend who knows what would have happened way back then. So mostly they come with other people. Some they actually come with other people that are listed on their birth certificates, yet they now suspect that no, this person is not my biological father because of what will be said by the society. And some of those tests, most of them, they will come out as zeros on those particular people that you think is your biological father. And then this other guy, he is. And then definitely the father will tell you that no, your mother says, I'm not I'm not the one responsible for the pregnancy. So basically, it's the issue normally it's mainly focuses on women because they are the ones who knows. Most
definitely. Now we are wrapping up this conversation. I think about the child custody, the maintenance and inheritance. Yes. How is this joined together in the whole conversation of DNA testing?
We have had cases of maybe estates being displaced, and actually the listed beneficiaries, you would see that maybe some of the people, they won't be entitled to that estate if, let's say, the father is late, because all they knew was, I'm from this family, and then now the requirement is, when such a thing happens, let's do a DNA test, and then from there you find out that you are not part of it. That means you cannot directly benefit from that estate unless if you are willed onto that estate. And then custody also, we are talking about you as the father of the child. For you to have inherent custody, then you have to know the paternity status of the child. Yes. And you can't have any legal right if you don't know the paternity status of the child. If the child is not yours, then that means you don't have any legal right over the particular child. Yes.
And that is how we come to the end of this conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Badola, for such insights. I believe now the mandatory, testing, yes, you've already said that is something that should be discussed at the parliamentary level, yes, for it to become as a law and be, enforced like that. Thank you so much for such information.
Thank you.
All right. And that is how we come to the end of this conversation. I'm coming right back with the 7 o'clock news. Stay with us.
Poaching and illegal wildlife trade is no longer just a local or regional issue, but an organized and lucrative global problem driven by the high demand for wildlife products such as ivory,